be foolish not to at least consider offers. But most people around the league do expect Cleveland to stand pat and take Colorado's Travis Hunter. Momentum has been building with Hunter and the Browns for a few weeks now, dating back to Colorado's pro day when he catered to the team by running receiving routes for them. Now, the Browns have also looked hard at quarterbacks, could take one with the 33rd overall pick. I'm told all options are on the table for Cleveland, including potentially moving up into the late first round, but they would prefer to stay at the top of that second round, having a multitude of options leading into day two. Either way, the Browns, a team in transition, is looking for long-term solutions, I'm told, not quick fixes with this draft.
If Travis Hunter goes at 2, that likely leaves edge rusher Abdul Carter at 3 to the Giants. He wore the prestigious number 11 at Penn State. He has drawn comparisons to Micah Parsons. Now he might find himself in the same division as Parsons. Again, Carter's a guy most feel is a slam dunk NFL star. Here's Sal Paolantonio on what the Giants are thinking.
No team has done more work on Shedeur Sanders than the New York Giants. But after all the scouting, after all the interviews, after that last-minute private workout in Colorado, the Giants are still not convinced that Sanders, for them, at number 3, is the right pick. As one source inside this building told me, quote, "We're not going to invest a whole lot of draft capital in a player who can't help us in 2025. We have Russell Wilson. He's our starting quarterback," which means the Giants are in a position to go back up into the first round to take a quarterback, but they don't want to part with that number 34 pick. That's prime real estate, quote unquote, one source inside this building told me. When I talked to Joe Shane one-on-one on Wednesday, he said, bottom line, there's no mandate to take a quarterback in this draft.
Thank you, Sal. Our NFL experts have all released their final mock drafts ahead of the first round. Mel Kiper Jr., Field Yates, Matt Miller, Jordan Reed, and Peter Schrager all have the Giants taking Abdul Carter with that 3rd pick. There's a 65% chance that Carter will be available at number 3, according to the ESPN Draft Day Predictor. With more on Carter, here's Louis Riddick.
Welcome, Mr. Riddick.
Let's take a look at NFL prospect Abdul Carter from Penn State.
Of course, pulling up Abdul Carter.
A pass rushing demon.
I feel like I'm the best player in the country, and the best player should be selected number 1.
This is my time.
The thing I love about Abdul Carter is he's got tremendous get-off at the line of scrimmage, tremendous flexibility when you're talking about rushing the passer to either run the high side with speed and finesse or from speed to power.
So what they saying now? Just watch how far I take it now.
Show me Abdul Carter. This is what a franchise caliber pass rusher is supposed to look like. 6'3", 255 pounds, long arms, tremendous athleticism. He'll be able to track down just about any quarterback in the NFL. The film speaks for itself. This kid plays hard from start to finish. His pace and his tempo never, ever changes.
Abdul Carter.
Just a dominant force on the edge.
That's the best football player in America, by far.
Are there any areas where he is lacking?
There's maybe one area that you can say he will need to continuously improve, and that's his ability to play the run when he's a base defensive end against an offensive tackle, so he's not a liability at the point of attack. But he's someone who's going to work on those deficiencies, and he will get good enough at it to the point where teams won't consider him to be someone that they want to attack, but instead someone who they want to run away from.
You will hear his name very early in the draft tomorrow. And ahead on SportsCenter, if the Giants don't take Shedeur, might he go to New Orleans? Barring any last-minute stunner, Cam Ward will hear his name announced first tomorrow when the Tennessee Titans make the pick. Quite the journey for a young man who started at Incarnate Word and won ACC Player of the Year honors this past season at Miami. All the workouts, all the interviews. Draft day is almost here.
I don't think I'd be able to sleep just because I've been dreaming for this moment for since I was 6 years old. But I'm excited, though. I'm excited for, this opportunity for my family to celebrate it with me. And, I'm just ready to get it going. I'm excited, hopefully hear my name called first to go to a good organization like that. They have a great owner, great, GM, great assistant GM, great president. And so, the team there, they got a pretty elite team, in my opinion. They don't get enough credit on paper for what they really are. And so, if I'm there, I know it'll turn out good.
On the subject of QBs, there's a ton of intrigue with New Orleans given the uncertainty surrounding veteran Derek Carr who's dealing with a shoulder injury. The Saints haven't drafted a quarterback with its first-round pick since taking Archie Manning in 1971. Lindsey Theory now on the big dilemma in the Big Easy.
Saints GM Mickey Loomis says there are some good quarterbacks available in this draft. Really good, in fact, but acknowledges that there aren't as many as there have been in the past. Whether the Saints plan to pick a QB at number 9, Loomis provided no hints. But here's what he did say about the selection. If we're picking in the top 10, we're looking for somebody that we're going to count on for the next 8 to 10 years. He's going to fill that spot, and we're not going to have to worry about it. In conversations around the building, it is clear the Saints are always in the quarterback business, and they have thoroughly evaluated each available. But taking one with the 9th overall pick does not seem to be the plan. With the Saints, Lindsey Theory, ESPN.
On Monday, the Saints were the betting favorite to draft Shedeur with the 9th overall pick. But flash forward to today, New Orleans is now plus 600 to take Sanders, the 4th shortest odds on ESPN Bet Sportsbook, with the Steelers now the favorites. With more on the most fascinating prospect in this draft, here's Dan Orlovsky.
It's Shedeur Sanders' time, and he was the only quarterback to finish in the top 5 in touchdown passes, passing yards, and completion percentage in 2024, and he excelled despite a suspect offensive line. Sanders dealt with absolute chaos up front and was sacked an FBS high 94 times in the last 2 seasons. Defenses brought the heat, but he responded with 14 touchdown passes against the blitz last season, 9 more than he had in 2023. Shedeur's game relies on rhythm and timing, and he's flawless with a clean pocket. He completed 82% of those passes on plays when he wasn't pressured last season. Best in the FBS and the only quarterback over 80%. He's at his best throwing receivers open with anticipation and led the FBS in completions to open targets in 2024. With solid offensive line play, Sanders will be the ultimate point guard in the NFL.
On a very different note, Pro Football Hall of Famer Steve McMichael died Wednesday following a lengthy battle with ALS. A star defensive tackle on the Chicago Bears' famed 46 defense. McMichael was an icon in the Windy City thanks to both his relentless playing style and his larger-than-life personality. Nicknamed Mongo, McMichael earned 2 All-Pro selections and is number 2 on the Bears' all-time sack list to only fellow Hall of Famer Richard Dent. He was a sports talk radio host, spent 5 years in pro wrestling in the late 1990s, dueling with the likes of Ric Flair before becoming a commentator. McMichael first revealed his diagnosis in April of 2021 and lived to see his induction into Canton just last summer. A one-of-a-kind Chicago sports legend, Steve McMichael was 67.
Có cái gì đâu. Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay dụng cụ mình có là hạt vòng màu hồng trắng và màu vàng bên dây xỏ nhé. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt đầu làm nhé. Nào mày đưa sang đây chị like cho mà.
Vừa like vừa làm.
Đúng rồi.
Vui được, khoe nó cái lúc bạn nó sợ ngay.
Chó nó xem á. Bạn bè là chả có.
Lúc bạn thì nó sẽ đạt được nói đừng đạt được. Mà mày nhìn xem cái làng này ai có lúc bạn như nó ép media rồi.
Ai bạc sáng.
Cả cái là cái xã này luôn nữa. Xã này chả có youtuber nào nổi tiếng cả. Lên huyện có đấy. Huyện nào?
Ở đâu?
Ở bên kia, ở trên đồng Thủy Dương.
Ta không biết.
Trên 5 mét kia nó có nước vàng chị quay.
Không.
Có nước vàng đó.
Có nước bạc thôi.
Nước bạc chỉ là video hàng, khoe chính tích, thì là chân.
Nước kim cương ơ.
Đấy. Cái này có vừa.
Con 12 mini à?
Vẫn nói đấy. Ô, cái này những sóng sơ đó chị quay.
Đâu?
con này rồi.
Điên à?
Thật. Mày bị điên à, nghĩa này.
Người Sóc Sơn á?
Đúng. Nào ấy vậy?
Đâu để tao check xem.
Check đi. Sao con này là người Sóc Sơn? Đây ơi. Đồng chí Dung cha xem ở đâu? Này.
Người Sóc Sơn.
Này. Dạ mới biết.
Bác trưởng.
Trước xem con này nó anti, nó nói gato mấy đứa nó trên nổi tiếng trên mạng cửa gì ạ?